Hello, my name is Pauline. I'm from CreativeHUT and I'm here to talk to you all about First Lego League Discover. So this season, the theme is Submerged, and throughout this presentation, we're going to give you an overview of what is First Lego League and explain how and why you should take part in this incredible programme. The First Lego League in Ireland is supported through funding from SFI, and we at CreativeHUT are operating partners in Ireland of the IET to deliver First Lego League across Ireland. We're incredibly proud that over the last 4 years we've had over 30,000 children across Ireland engaged in each of the different levels of First Lego League. And within those 30,000 children, they have engaged in over 250,000 hours of STEAM engagement as part of the programme, which is just 250,000 hours of STEAM engagement as part of this programme. Is just, it's incredible. So we're incredibly proud of the work that we have done throughout this programme. So to give you a bit of context, while I assume you all know who LEGO are, FIRST is actually an acronym. FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. So FIRST are a non-profit organisation. They're based out of the US and they partnered with LEGO to create First Lego League. So First Lego League introduces science, technology, engineering and maths to children aged 4 to 16 years, and it's all done through fun, exciting, hands-on learning. The idea is that participants gain real-world problem-solving experience through a guided global robotics program. Now, obviously, in the Discover section, they're not really looking into robotics yet, but it's those early skills, those early design and engineering skills that we're working on at this level. So there are 3 divisions there, and each of the divisions are very distinct from one another. So our first division, which is what we'll be looking at today, is Discover, and that's for children kind of from early years preschool right through up to first class. This is a playful, play-based introductory STEM program, which uses Lego Duplo bricks to ignite young people's natural curiosity, build habits of learning with hands-on activities, and this is the students' real first discovery of what is STEM. After Discover, then we have students who move into Explore, and that's for kind of first, second class up to about 5th or 6th class. In Explore, the teams of kind of from around the ages 6 to 10 focus on the fundamentals of engineering. And again, they explore real world problems, learn how to design, and then they'll move on to learning how to code and create unique solutions made with Lego bricks and powered by the Lego Spike Essentials kit. Then our next level then is our First Lego League Challenge, and that's from kind of 5th, 6th class right the way up to transition year. So this is what we call our friendly competition, and that friendliness is really at the heart of all things we do at that level. It's for students aged kind of 9 to 16, and again they engage in research and problem solving, coding and engineering, and then they build and program a Lego robot that they navigate missions for their robot game. So that's kind of, they're the 3 levels of it, but obviously today what we're discussing is our First Lego League Discover. So First Lego League Discover is an introductory STEM program. The key concepts in it is that it really helps to focus on real life, real world skills and develop those early habits of learning, which we'll look at it in a later slide. It is very much play-based and play-focused, and it's all around giving the children the opportunity to discover things for themselves, to give them real-world problems and give them the opportunity to come up with solutions for those problems in a very playful and play-based sort of way. So it's really taking these kind of large abstract problems and giving them some more context for them and making them appropriate for that age group for them. So really it's all around playful learning, this idea of allowing the children the opportunity to engage in playful STEM experiences in the hopes that it'll ignite their natural curiosity, build on their knowledge, develop all of those habits of learning that we've talked about. anyone who's worked in early years in any country, specifically in Ireland, it fits so well within that Ashter framework, that ability to get them communicating with each other, that exploring and thinking, that understanding of kind of the world that they're living in, and contextualizing the world and where they are within it, and kind of the impact that they can have within the world. All of that is covered through in this program, and has been thought about so beautifully in each of the different parts of that program. As I've already said in a previous slide, we are looking to help develop their key life skills. So obviously, I think what happens is in programs like this, people look at it and think, wow, what a wonderful STEM program. It's giving them the opportunity to learn all of these skills around kind of engineering and design and computational thinking and so on. But actually, one of those really important skills that they're getting are those kind of those early habits of learning, those things like problem solving, confidence, risk taking, persistence, listening, empathizing with others, all of those things that are really fundamental skills in all things that we do within life. And I suppose they're kind of key things that we're trying to develop within our students, alongside all of those STEM concepts and so on. Because I'm sure that the students, when they are engaged in that kind of hands-on learning, it's that hand is the instrument of the brain. As they're building and as they're developing, they're thinking and they're problem solving and so on. They're working in teams, they're conversing with others, they're listening, they're sharing, they're being considerate of others. And this is a huge amount of the feedback that we get from the teachers that we work alongside is, they're saying to us, gosh, it's great. They've learned, they've learned things that I would never have thought, around gears and pulleys and some of those kind of engineering concepts. But actually, even more importantly, they've learned how to work within a team with each other. They've learned how to, to listen to others at the table. They've understood that it's really important how sharing, being considerate of those around them. And that's been a huge amount of the feedback that we've received over the last number of years, which we love. And I suppose what's great is that feedback is so consistent, regardless of the context in which the program is being run, whether it's we run these programs within schools, preschools, after school settings, other youth organizations such as the Girl Guides, Froga and so on. Any of these organizations that we work with, that's the kind of feedback that we're getting. It's, yes, wonderful, they're learning all of these STEM concepts, but also these other fundamental life skills are being developed as well, which is really wonderful to hear. I suppose to support these life skills that we're giving students is, and what is, I believe, is the backbone of what is First Lego League, is our core values. So those core values are a fundamental part of the program. In fact, when they get to the challenge level, that kind of older level, the evidence of those core values and how they're incorporating it into what they're doing is actually, it's part of their marking system and so on across each of the different divisions within it. So it's a really fundamental, important part of it. So to kind of give you a quick overview of those core values, we begin with discovery. So this is allowing our students the opportunity to explore new skills and ideas, giving them that time to to figure things out for themselves. So rather than feeding them information, we're giving them the opportunity to kind of have that self-discovery within it. Innovation is a really important element of First Lego League, where we encourage them to use their creativity and persistence to solve problems. So again, we're not giving them the answers to how to fix things, to how to work through things. It's it's all around trial and error, and that the like engineering process where they're they start making something, they think about it, they test it, they prototype it, they build again and so on. And it's getting them thinking all of the time of what can I do to fix this, and how can I solve any of these problems, and actually I don't have enough pieces here, but if I try this and so on. So it's all around that innovation and thinking outside of the box. Our next core value then is impact, and this is really important. This is about getting them to look outside of what they're doing. So it's applying what they've learned to the real world. So it's about that idea of thinking about themselves as part of a larger community. So when we're talking about applying it to improve their world around them, we could be talking about, they might learn about something around, the ocean, and, the need to recycle certain things because it's having an impact on the animals in their ocean and so on. And they go home and they reiterate that at home, or they might ask their parents to, maybe we'll go and do a cleanup on the beach one day, and that has an impact on their local community. But even just small things like your world outside of what they're doing can include the world of your classroom or your school at large, or your local community, or just your individual home, or your country as a whole. So it's taking what you've learned and taking that knowledge and applying it to a real world context is really important. Our next core value then is inclusion. And this is all about ensuring that we respect each other and embrace differences. It's about understanding that all of us are different. We come from different backgrounds, we're different genders, different races and so on, and we just come from different contexts, have different understanding, different skill levels and so on. But what's really important is that we recognize that we're all different from each other, but that we can work alongside each other, recognize what each of us are bringing to a team, and work together in a kind and a cohesive and a fun way. That leads us on lovely to our next core value, which is teamwork. And it's that understanding that we're stronger when we work together. It's again part of that inclusion thing. It's looking at who's in our group, who are we working alongside, checking out what are their skill levels, what are they good at. Well, they're really good at putting on the wheels, but I'm actually really good at building up those big towers. And how can we work together to make those skills even better together? So it's those kind of things are really important. And then lastly, I believe the most important thing within First Lego League is fun. Everything that they're working on should be done in a fun and playful way, getting the children kind of excited about what they're learning, because that's when that really wonderful learning happens, when they're having so much fun. So as I said earlier, First Lego League, every year it's about having a real world problem and giving students the opportunity to solve those problems. And every year the theme changes. So over the years we've had Boomtown Build, Cargo Connect, which is around how can we get how does something that was shipped in the United States land in India, what is that, what is the thing, and how can we make that a little bit better and a bit more sustainable for the environment and so on. We had Superpowered, which looked at how do we create power? Is there a more sustainable way of doing it to look after the environment and so on? And then last year's was Masterpiece, which was looking at how can we take our interests and our love of the arts and use technology to help show that to the world. So taking something that's kind of internal and showing it outwards. And some of the projects that were created over the last number of years have just been incredible, just amazing things that some of the students have worked on. But this year's theme, excitingly, is called Submerged. So in the Submerged season, First Lego League teams will discover the problems faced by people who explore the oceans, and they're going to be tasked with creating an innovative solution to solve any of those problems that we see. So I suppose it's one of those things we could just tell the children within our groups, oh, these are the problems that they're facing, these are the things that they're happening, this is the problems that ocean explorers and researchers and so on are having. But as I'm sure most children, where that real learning happens is when they have the opportunity to discover these things for themselves, and that's where that really that real learning takes place. So we have stories which we tell at the top of each of the sessions to the students, all about the different aspects of exploring the under the ocean and so on, and all about those different researchers, the type of submarines, the sunlight zone and so on. And there's different stories that can be told before each session, and then they begin building and building on that as they go through it. How do you take part in it? So in order to take part in First Lego League, there's two fundamental things that you need. Number one is that you would need a STEAM Park kit, and I'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. That's the one on the left-hand side of the screen. So you would need a STEAM Park kit for every kind of 4 to 6 students within your class. And then each year there will be a Discover kit and team meeting guides that we sent out, and they will be on theme, and they would have very specific pieces based on that year's theme that goes with them. So really the number of kits that you would require would really depend on the number of children that you would have in your session. So for a preschool room that has say 20 children, you might have 4 sets and have 4 teams of 5 students. But if you only had 3 sets, you could really do it with 3 different groups, just slightly larger groups of each. So it's whatever works within the context that you have, the type of children that you have, their age range and so on. But you do need to have both the STEAM Park kit and the Discover kit to go with it to work through the program. Now, as I said, each group does require a STEAM Park kit. Now, I will say the STEAM Park kits are one of my favorite kits throughout all of Lego education. They are an incredible resource, and they actually come with a huge number of separate resources and curriculum all on its own, completely separate to First Lego League, that you can work through. The idea of STEAM Park is that obviously it's based on this park where children can go and build kind of, you know, Ferris wheels and other rides, and they learn about all of these different engineering concepts through building each of these different things within it. What I would recommend to anyone who is deciding to do First Lego League Discover and who, you know, is investing in getting the STEAM Park, my suggestion would be is to do the kind of 1 or 2 of the initial STEAM Park sessions with your class first, getting them used to it. Anyone who gets the STEAM Park kits through us can get some of these lovely bags, which you can pour your kit into. You can actually pour your Discover kit into it. You lay them out, the children can build on it, and then as soon as they're done, you can just lift them back up again and put them away. But they are an amazing resource to have within the class. We have recently created like a little mini course if anyone is interested in kind of what to expect when using STEAM Park. And so anyone who signs up for the Discover program will send that resource out to people. So to actually run a session, you have your kits, you have your Discover kits, and you're like, what now? What do I do? So what's really wonderful about First Lego League Discover is that they have what's called their team meeting guide. And what the team meeting guide is a guide for you as the educator with step-by-step of what you should be doing, the stories that you should be telling, the learning outcomes, and so on for each of the different sessions that you're doing. So there are, within that team meeting guide, there's 10 sessions in total. And these can, honestly, these can be anything from 30 minutes to 90 minutes. And it really depends on your context. How old are the children within your group? What are their concentration levels like? What are their interest levels like as they're doing it? If you've got a group that are really into it, you can allow them to continue building and to keep adding to it. But, especially say if you have junior infants at the very beginning of the year, their concentration or the amount of time that they can spend working on something mightn't be that of senior infants, in April, for example. So really how long each of the sessions is very much dependent on the context in which you are in. The program can be run in really whatever way you want. Some places do it twice a week, some do it every 2 weeks, some might do it as a block over a couple of weeks. It's whatever works within your context. There's a team meeting guide for you, and there's also engineering notebooks that are given out to each of the students. Again, the engineering notebooks are a wonderful, nice to have that goes with you. Depending on the context that you are in, you may have children who really enjoy filling in their engineering notebook because it's something for homework, right? That they can bring home, show their family, look how amazing I have done. But there are going to be other children who just don't want to write down. They've created this beautiful structure. They don't want to have to write down or colour in something. It's meaningless if they're being forced to do it. So It's okay if they don't fill in the engineering notebooks. It is a nice to have, not a need to have as they go through it. So I wouldn't, feel like you've failed if your class has not filled in the engineering notebooks. They are not an essential part of it. Now, with that said, we've also actually created our STEAM Week guide. So some of the feedback that we had from schools was, God, we'd love to be able to just run this program over a week and not have to, not have to figure out, not try to fit in 10 sessions. It was too much. So what we have done is we have taken the learning from those 10 sessions and we've kind of squashed them into 5 sessions. So you can start it on a Monday and run right the way through to the Friday and have your wonderful celebratory event then on the Friday of it. What we've also done within this is we have mapped each of the different sessions over onto Ashter, so you don't have to, and we've created loads of, or we have found tons of resources and stories and lovely links of videos and so on that you can show your class as you're going through each of them, which will be shared within that booklet as well. So as part of the program, as we said, each team gets a STEAM park and they also get a Discover kit, but each child in the class then will also get a set of 6 bricks. So for each of the activities within it, there's a short 6 bricks activities that happens at the beginning. Those 6 brick activities are they're so gorgeous. What a lot of schools will do is, rather than doing them as part of their first Lego League Discover, they'll do them as their own separate little program. What some schools do is they send the 6 brick home with them so the children can do it as homework within the class with their parents. But a lot of them choose to kind of keep them. So again, it's this, whatever way you want to work with the 6 bricks, there's no wrong way of doing it, but they are a gorgeous, gorgeous resource to have within your classroom. So you'll see within the books there's a plethora of 6 brick activities within the team meeting guides, and you'll get to choose which of these kind of these that you do within each of the sessions. You can choose to do them during the session, before, after, as its own separate program, and so on. It's no problem. There is a absolute plethora of resources that are available online, and what I would recommend to anyone, if you do get these 6 bricks, is to go and do 6 brick training if possible, because it really is a gorgeous resource to have in your class. It's very much not about engineering or anything like that. It's actually not at all about that. It's a gorgeous resource to have, and there's a huge amount of learning for both you and your students within the class. So when you get the kits, I would absolutely recommend going and finding a training that you can do within the 6 bricks. And there's also, if you search online, huge amount of 6 bricks activities that are freely available online. If you go to our website, you'll see, just click on the Discover and you'll see all of the different resources that are available within there for 6 bricks. So well, imagine now that your students have made it the whole way through the program. You've done your five sessions or your 10 sessions. You've spent 1 week or 6 months working your way through it. And at the end of it, what's going to be really important is that we celebrate it, because that fun is so important. The celebratory event is about inviting your parents in, or maybe other students from the school or other teachers and so on, to come in and celebrate what your students have learned, what they have built and what they have discovered as they've made their way through the program. It's an amazing opportunity to really just to show off kind of what the students have been doing and all of the different things that they've been learning as they go through it. The showcase can be, it's what works within your context. It can be 30 minutes, it can be an hour, it can be, happen within your classroom, it can happen within your school hall. Some schools choose to do it during the day and the parents come in and visit. Some schools choose to do it as an end of day thing, so the parents come in at the end. Whatever works within your context, there's no right or wrong way to do it, but it is a gorgeous opportunity to celebrate their learning, to give them the opportunity to talk and express and, to really show off everything that they've learned. If I have any tips for somebody, if they're running a showcase event, number one, it is to prepare the parents beforehand, or the adults that are coming in beforehand, with some questions about, to give the parents beforehand some context about what it is that they're learning, and some prompts of the types of questions that they can ask. They can ask the children, because that'll then give those children kind of the opportunity to be like, I know the answer to this, and they'll be able to give those really lovely answers to them. In our next slide, you're going to see some of the beautiful celebratory events that we've had this year, and you'll see they're all different to each other. So it's about what is right within your context. And as we said, we've traveled all around the country visiting people during their celebrations, and they're always such a gorgeous day. The students get their certificates and their medals, and they're so proud, and they're so excited to be able to show off all of the things that they have learned and they have built throughout it. So it's a beautiful event. So in our next clip, you're going to see some of the events that we have had this year. So, as I've said, we have a huge amount of resources available online to support you through your journey. They're available on FLL.ie. We have video guides, we have courses, we have anything that you may need. If though, however, you get to the end of it and you're like, you still have some questions, that's absolutely fine. We are always available at FLL@creativehut.ie or .com. And we are more than happy to answer any questions that you have there. So FLL@creative-hut.com. We are more than happy to answer any questions that you have. But other than that, I wish you the best of luck. It is a wonderful program, and enjoy.